Imagine someone takes a sharp piece of rock, they press it against the top of your skull, and then they start to scrape. No anesthesia, no painkillers. You're awake. You feel everything. The grinding travels through your jaw, through your teeth, into your whole body. And the person doing this to you is not trying to kill you. They are trying to save you. This sounds like torture. It sounds like something from a nightmare. But it actually happened thousands of times, thousands of years ago. Most people think brain surgery is one of the most modern things humans have ever achieved. We picture sterile rooms, bright lights, or machines beeping, surgeons in masks. We assume you need electricity, microscopes, and decades of training to open a human skull. And while all of that is true today, the truth is far older. The practice is called trepanation. It means drilling, cutting, or scraping a hole into the skull of a living person. And it is one of the oldest surgical procedures known to humanity. Some of the earliest evidence dates back nearly 7,000 years. But scattered cases may go back even further into the Stone Age itself. This was not a rare accident. This was not one strange tribe. Trepanned skulls have been found on almost every continent, in France, in Peru, in China, in Russia, in Africa. People who never met, who lived thousands of miles apart, who spoke completely different languages, all independently decided to cut holes into human heads, cut a hole into a living person's skull. In one burial site in France, out of 120 prehistoric skulls, 40 of them had holes. That is 1 in 3. This was not unusual. For these people, this was medicine. So here's the question that should stop you. If you cut a hole in someone's skull with a rock, would they survive? You would assume the answer is no. You would assume this was a death sentence. But the bones tell us something incredible. When a person dies, bone stops healing. It stays sharp at the edges. But when a person lives, the bone around a wound begins to grow back. It becomes smooth. It rounds over. Scientists call this healing remodeling, and when researchers examined these ancient trepanned skulls, they found something they did not expect. The edges were smooth. The bone had healed. These people survived, not just 1 or 2. Studies suggest the majority of patients lived. In ancient Peru, the survival rate may have reached 80%. Compare that to the American Civil War, thousands of years later, where similar head surgeries killed around half of all patients. Stone Age humans with rocks were beating Civil War surgeons with steel. How? Part of the answer is infection. Civil War surgeons then did not understand germs. They moved from patient to patient with dirty hands and dirty tools. Ancient healers working slowly in open air, away from crowded hospitals, may have accidentally avoided the very thing that killed so many later patients. Some skulls show something even more astonishing. Multiple holes, healed at different times. That means a person had this done once, survived, recovered, and then came back to have it done again. They trusted it enough to return. But this raises a deeper question. Why? Why would anyone do this? The honest answer is we are not completely sure, but we have strong clues. Many trepanned skulls show signs of head injury, fractures, damage from clubs, slings, or falls. When the brain is hit, it can swell. Pressure builds inside the skull with nowhere to go. Opening a hole would release that pressure. It would relieve the swelling. It might genuinely save a life. So in some cases, this was real medicine. Effective medicine. They may not have known about the brain the way we do, but they understood that something inside the head, when injured, needed to be let out. In other cases, the reason was different. There may have been no injury at all. Some scientists believe these surgeries were spiritual. Ancient people often believed that headaches, seizures, and madness were caused by evil spirits or demons trapped inside the skull. Opening the head was a way to let the spirit escape. To them, the surgery was not just physical, it was a battle for the soul. To understand how they even did this, you have to understand the tools. They used sharpened flint, obsidian, a volcanic glass sharper than modern steel, sharp shells, and they used 4 main techniques: scraping the bone away slowly, cutting a circle and lifting it out, drilling small holes in a ring, or carving straight grooves until a piece could be removed. Every method required steady hands and an unconscious or restrained patient, and every method took time. In ancient Peru, the practice became almost an art form. Skilled healers performed it again and again, generation after generation, refining their technique. Their survival rates climbed higher and higher. This was not random. This was knowledge being passed down, a surgical tradition built over centuries. So did ancient humans really understand the brain? The honest answer is probably not the way we do. They did not know about neurons. They did not know what different parts of the brain controlled. They could not have explained why their patients lived or died, but they understood something powerful through pure observation. They saw that opening the skull could relieve pressure. They saw that some patients got better, and they did it deliberately, carefully, and often successfully. Understanding this actually helps us today. It tells us that the human drive to heal, to intervene, to fight back against suffering is not modern. It is ancient. It is woven into who we are. Thousands of years before hospitals, before anesthesia, before we understood a single thing about the brain, humans were already trying, already reaching into the most dangerous place in the body to save one another. A sharp piece of rock, a hole in a skull, a person who lived. People who walked the earth before written history, before science, before medicine as we know it. They looked at the most complex object in the known universe, the human brain, and they dared to open it. And for the first time in that long history, we finally understand just how brave that truly was.